Welcome back to Arise Entertainment 360. Now, if you have a burning desire to access and activate your dreams, then our next guest is here to help.
That's right. She's a media icon plus founder and CEO of Dream Leapers. Harriette Cole, welcome back.
I'm so happy to be with you. It's wonderful.
Yes.
We're talking elevator pitches.
Yes.
We're talking chasing your dreams. We're talking being all you can be.
We
Take it
have
away.
to. We have to.
Yeah.
So I created Dream Leapers 2 years ago. It is an educational platform designed to help people access and activate their dreams. So why is that important? In this world that we're living in right now, we need those good dreams to come forth, right?
Right.
We need all the goodness to come forth. But what I've discovered is that many people, we all have dreams, I believe. We don't usually pay attention to them. We don't write them down. We are often afraid to pursue them. But our world was created by other people's dreams. So why not ours?
That is very
right?
true.
If you think about it.
So what are you teaching people in these workshops to help them to activate their own dreams and start living out their own desires?
So the very first workshop we did last month in January to start out the year, we started with a meditation. Still your mind and find out what your heart is telling you to do.
That's so hard.
right?
Everybody's on technology, so there's noise everywhere.
But they did it.
They did
it.
Okay.
I've been meditating for about 28 years. And so I taught them how to meditate. And then we did vision boards. So each person drew on what came up and made a vision board that they can follow through the year. Tonight, when I leave here, we're going to do perfecting your elevator pitch. So, you know, even when you are pursuing your dream and you are doing it, sometimes it's really difficult to say what you're doing.
Yes.
So in a short, compelling enough way for people to want to listen. You know, you've been at those events and people start talking like
Waffling.
10 minutes in and you're like, please get me away. So I teach people how to prepare and how to project so that they are ready and people want to know more. That's what you want. You don't want to shove a business card in somebody's pocket. You want them to ask you for it. How can I be in touch with you? And then other things we do, because there are many activities that are part of Dream Leapers. Really, it's modular to help people. Sometimes I'm interviewing people who, like you do here, who have done amazing things, and they tell, what was that dream you had as a kid? How did you manifest it? Or what was that changing dream? Because if you live long enough, you're not usually doing the exact same thing. So you know Beth Ann Hardison, right?
Yes.
You love Beth
Fashion
Ann.
icon.
Fashion
Yes.
icon. She's done so many things, and I'm going to be interviewing her on February 22nd at the Schomburg to talk about her life. You know, she started out as a model at a time when black models ruled the runway. She was part of that Battle of Versailles in Paris when American designers, you know, took hold and were everything. She was on stage voguing with the rest of them before there was a name called voguing. And now she's a fashion activist, really lobbying on behalf of the black model at a time when, you know, there are fewer black models than in the 70s. We're supposed to be going forward, not backward. You know?
And it sounds like this is almost like a master's class that you'll be doing with her.
Yes, it is like a master's class that I'm doing with her.
That's amazing.
And then another woman, I wonder if you know her. Do you know Brenda Braxton?
Yes, of course.
Oh, see, we love Brenda Braxton.
Broadway star.
Right.
Yeah,
She was
Braxton
in Chicago.
salon.
And remember that salon?
Beautiful.
She had this the most elegant men's salon in Harlem. Visionary. It worked for a few years. She is such a visionary, was even ahead of her time. Well, what is she doing now? People don't know. She took Broadway to the water. She's on Norwegian Cruise Lines, traveling around the world doing Broadway performances. Yeah, and she created this workshop called Act 2 Now What? Right? For people of any age, but when you get to a certain point, you're like, either what I'm doing isn't happening anymore, or it's time to turn the page. How do you do it? And so we're going to talk, it's another master class. We're going to talk about how you make a change when you feel like the world is falling apart, you know, instead of falling apart with it. Because many people don't, you know, many people just get afraid and shut down and don't go out and feel that life is over. But life is not over till it's over.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Yeah, right?
Absolutely.
Colonel Sanders made Kentucky Fried Chicken in his 60s.
I didn't realize that.
Yes, he was
very
a
late
senior
on in
citizen.
life.
All right, so the second act still
Come
got
on, second
opportunity
act
for success.
can be a great thing,
Okay,
right?
let's go back to tonight's event because
Yes.
I'm quite intrigued by this elevator pitch. It's something that I've heard quite often in the film world, where they say if you've got a film, you've got to pitch it, be able to pitch it to Steven Spielberg in an elevator in under 11 seconds. So tell us what the elevator pitch means to you and how you're going to help people perfect it.
So what it means to me is a whole lot of work. More than likely, people will not walk out with 11 seconds.
Okay.
Because most of the people coming in are still formulating their ideas.
Right.
What I'm giving them is a blueprint for how. So what does it mean to me? It means that you are able to, you have synthesized what your message is, that says what you're doing, who you are, what makes you unique to this idea, and you deliver it in a way like you do with those eyes, and people are like, baby, I want to know more, right?
Hey, stop. No, please go on.
But you know, what makes you unique and compelling and dazzling so that people can't wait to hear what's next? That means you own who you are. You can't be shy.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to project your voice. I teach people how to say their name so the folks hear it. So many people swallow their name when they say it.
Say it under their
Right?
breath.
Say it under their breath. You know, terrible handshakes. All the basics of how you engage. Many people do not know.
So it sounds to me like you're teaching people how to shine their light.
How to shine their light, how to present themselves effectively so that as they are navigating their lives, the waters part. People want to join them. You know, so you don't feel alone, you figure out how to connect.
Yeah.
Well, why is it that you think people stand in their own way and dim their own light or put a basket over their light so many times?
Well, number 1, lack of confidence. I mean, and maybe that's 1, 2, and 3. But right up there also is lack of preparedness.
Right.
You know, if you have a dream, you have an idea, but you haven't done the work to figure out what is it exactly, how can it manifest, you know, who do I need to align myself with in order to get to the next level, and you're just talking. You know, there's some people who are very confident, but it's with hot air.
Yes.
Nobody wants to hear that either, right?
Absolutely.
So you have to be prepared.
Style and substance is what we want.
You do, and the thing about substance, when you know your subject matter, when you know what it is that you are looking to bring into the world or that you've already brought into the world, the ego doesn't get in the way so much because you're talking truth and facts and you understand what the path is. You also understand what your questions are.
I think people can read that. They can read that if you're not confident or if you're shaky
Yeah.
or
Or
if
if
you're
you're not
just
authentic
talking.
to
Yeah,
yourself.
hot air.
Yeah.
So one of the other things I teach is nonverbal communication. Remember to breathe. How many times do we stop breathing when we're trying to communicate something? But
when
the
you're
breath
nervous
is the
or-
life
yeah.
source. If you're not breathing, people can tell. And you know what happens? They don't breathe either.
Oh, really?
And everybody's standing
I've
there
never noticed that.
Oh, my goodness.
Watch.
We should try to let's try with our next guest. Really?
It's true. So when you take a breath, you give others space to take a breath.
Interesting.
And you know, back to just like the core of the elevator pitch, you have to practice. Now, you don't want it to be so practiced that it sounds like a script.
Right.
But if you are on that elevator, literally, but it could be the elevator, it could be at a cocktail party, it has to be short.
Yes.
You need to know what are the words that will captivate people's attention. And when you have those words and they're front of mind, then you know how to use them.
Well, I know fashion always captures your attention.
Oh, yeah.
Well, she was the fashion director of Essence magazine. I mean, hello. So we had to ask you,
Yes.
what are your anticipations for New York Fashion Week?
Oh, you know, I love Fashion Week. I love being in the company of the people, you know, because everybody looks their best. People come out to shine.
Yep, just to impress.
And then, you know, as an editor, I want to see what are the trends. I'm not sure what they are yet. It's interesting because in conservative times, which is what we think we're in, I think it's crazy times.
I think so too. I agree with you.
But there is a conservative wave. So what often happens when there's a conservative wave is that you see that in fashion, but you also see the opposite. So there will probably be a lot of counterculture, like club clothes, probably a lot of transparency, because you'll see conservative and then sexy
Okay.
and renegade.
Well,
you know,
we saw that with Yeezy season 6 with all his rags, his luxurious rags.
See, I have to say,
You like it?
I like the idea of it.
Right.
The creativity behind
The creativity of it. And because he's been so controversial, he's gotten just no slack. There are lots of designers who have done stuff like that.
That is true.
And it was like, oh, how fabulous. And he just got...
Well, I mean, he's attempting to sell a bandeau with holes in it.
Hundreds of dollars.
For $400.
But so have others. In the 90s, there was a trend called deconstruction. There were so many things that everything was exposed, and it cost thousands and thousands of dollars. And you had to figure out how to put the clothes on from some of the top designers.
Didn't know how to put them on.
Many things that were completely sheer on the runway, and it was considered like just the next wave.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't need to defend him, but I think that he
needs
got
someone
the
in his
short
corner.
End. I think he got the short end of the stick. Like people were mad at him because he's always pushing the envelope, and like, what the heck is that? It's his version of fashion. Fashion's like a free-for-all.
It's your interpretation of it. And if people buy it, why not make it?
Yeah.
Well, before you go, you have to tell us where people can learn more about Dream Leapers, and get signed up to go to one of your workshops.
So, dreamleapers.com, you can go to the activities or the calendar, and that's how you sign up. The event tonight, which is from 6:30 to 9:30 at the JCC Harlem. Who knew?
Nice.
There's a JCC in Harlem, a great space. So I'm partnering with them for events each month. And as I said, February 22nd, Beth Ann Hardison at the Schomburg. And you can find out about everything at my website, dreamleapers.com or harrietcole.com. Either way.
Either way. We
Either
can
way.
find you. Well,
And I'm
you
so happy
much.
that Arise is here.
Yes. Here to
It's
stay.
wonderful. And the
Thank
colors,
you.
it's always been beautiful, and I'm so happy to be on set with you.
Thank you.
Come back anytime.
I'll be happy to.
All right.
And see just how to successfully create an elevator pitch ride.
I think you're doing pretty well.
Oh,
All right. Thank you so much.
I love these compliments.
All right.
Stick around. I'm going to be paid a few more compliments during this break, and you don't go anywhere. Tell me more.